If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, and it's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So if you're interested, go out to download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Welcome, everybody, to the latest installment of Scream Creeps. I know it's been quite a while. I think the last time we did one of these was back in December, I think. It might have been November even. But this episode or this podcast, we're going to talk about Fear Street Part 2, 1978. If you guys remember in the last one, we talked about the first one. So that was, I believe, 1994.
Yeah.
This one came out not too long after the first part. I think they came out with all three parts of this
around the same time. It was like within a week or 2 weeks of each other, I think.
Yeah, and it pretty much came out the same way the filming took place, it looks like, because the filming took place back to back between March and September of 2019. Anyhow, this one basically continues what you saw in the first part of 1994 and kind of explained or detailed more or less what why the items happened or the issues happened in 1994 and continued. But I don't know who wants to talk about their thoughts on the film first.
I mean, I like this series as a whole. I'm intrigued with the third one because we still haven't watched the third one because we didn't do the podcast yet. So I held off on it to find out how it ended. But it kind of reminds me, this one, it kind of reminds me of Friday the 13th a little bit, just because how it happens at a summer camp and all that stuff. So like it gives me the same vibes for it. And I like how it starts off like where they tell the story, like where they're at the chick's place, and then she tells the story from it. I mean, I don't remember so many of the kills that were standout in this one, but like,
yeah, it wasn't like in the 1994 one where the chick got sliced by the meat.
Yeah, there was it was more like a slasher flick in this one. There wasn't like any standout like deaths in the whole thing. No, I like how it built in more the lore though, like for where everything was happening or like how it was happening, really, like when they got into the cave or whatever.
We at the witch's mark, and again, we're gonna probably spoil this for anyone that hasn't seen it. So if you're listening to the podcast, expect spoilers because we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, at least listen to or watch the movie first and then watch this one, unless you've already seen it already. But yeah.
I do like the way that they're doing it, though, kind of like backwards, having you look at and kind of, looking at 94 and then backwards, so it's kind of keeps you intrigued on, where did it all start, but that's how you find it at the end, how it actually began, kind of a thing. So I think that's interesting.
Yeah, and it seems like the way it looks like it might be people that were related to, it almost reminds me, and what I was telling Elaine, it kind of reminds me of Nightmare on Elm Street, the way it looks like it's heading. Is that the individuals that became, I guess, possessed ultimately, the killers, I guess you could say, are relatives of the people that may have burned her, the Sarah Fier character. I don't know. It may be completely different, but the way it seems like it's going towards that all the people involved were related to people back then and
or at least trying to get close to her. And it's funny because most of the people that pretty much got killed in at least this movie, they were all asshats pretty much. all except for her sister. But even then, like her sister was kind of more like straight laced and stuff anyway, and didn't really care about her sister all that much. But or at least it showed that she didn't really care about her at all.
Became more straight laced as she got older. It sounds like she did. That blonde girl, I don't remember her name, but
yeah, that was I think her name is Jillian Jacobs. I think that's the person that plays her, like the older version of her. She used to be in the show Community.
Oh no, I'm talking. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Who played C. Berman or the adult Ziggy? But I was talking about the blonde-haired chick that
Alice, right? No,
was
Alice?
Was that her name?
The short-haired one?
Oh,
yeah.
the one that was picking on her the whole time? Is that what you're talking about?
Picking on her was oh gosh, what was her name?
No, not the one that was picking on her. The one that was doing the drugs, and
that was Alice, wasn't it?
It might have been, but anyhow,
somebody was Alice.
That was the.
I don't know if that was the picker on her or the.
She alluded to.
It's a new word, picker on her.
Cindy acting out earlier in her life, like when she was younger, until she started snitching. Remember?
Well, yeah, because the blonde, how she used to be more fun and stuff like that.
Yeah. So who knows?
But I do agree with Josh. It does give you a big Friday the 13th.
Oh, it did.
Feel to it, for sure.
Well, it's mostly because, like, especially the one that did most of the killing was like Jason-esque type of dude, and I like how it's building to like where there's more than one, and that's why it seems like in the last one there's gonna be like a bunch of killers at the same time, like during the story.
Yeah, that's the only thing I don't, because
like
little, they had 4 killers in this one at the end.
Young boy from the 20s.
Yeah, it was. I think the Lacey Lane chick was like at the very end or something, right?
Well, Ruby Lane came in. Then obviously Tommy Slater, who was the guy that's covered with the bag over his head and uses the axe.
Yeah.
But then there was the little boy.
Yeah, with
but then there was the older looking milkman guy too.
Yeah, I figured that the smaller boy one was going to be more of a feature in the third movie. It seems like, because he looks like one of the earliest ones.
It'll be interesting though, because I thought he was from like the 20s.
I think he was in the 20s.
So that's where it's like, I don't know if he'll be featured in the 1666 one, but.
I'll be curious too, because it's going to be like, is there going to be anything between 1666 and 1922? You
mean, are they going to talk about?
Yeah, like
allude to it.
Just not happen until 1922?
I don't know. She moved back to 1666 though when she touched the bones.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that's what they're building to, is that she, like, for her to like finish stuff, she has to go back in time, or however they end up doing it, like doing it through a dream sequence or a vision or some shit. But like, I definitely like this series so far. Like, I like and I think it was like highly praised, or well, not highly praised, but like it's not had any bad comments or anything where like a lot of people have shed a shit on the series.
Well, I can tell you,
it's pretty good. I think it's made pretty good, and it keeps your interest. So
well, I can tell you in the first. How many movies have we reviewed on this thing?
Actually, I don't know how many now. I think at least like 15 or something, maybe.
I think these two have been up there near the top in terms of likability. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, like, especially for one of the newer movies, like, because we've been like reviewing stuff where it's been like 5 or 10 years old, possibly, all except for the Conjuring movies, really. Were like the only other ones where they were more recent, but like all the other ones, like Audition and stuff like that, they've been out for a while. But so it's nice to know that we end up doing some newer movies every once in a while.
So what do you guys think in terms of this series, in terms of the, in the first one, what was her name? Now I can't even remember.
Who?
The one,
the black girl's name?
Sarah. Was it Sarah? No, what was her name? The one that they had to kill at the end to stop the shoot.
What, the witch you're talking about, or
Witch? Sarah Fier is the witch. I'm talking about Sam. That's her name.
okay.
So you know how Sam?
The one that got taken over.
Yeah, the one. It seems like in the first one, that's what they thought they had to do was they had to die first.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Sam did, but she got taken over. Have we figured out like why Ziggy didn't?
Well, Ziggy was the one that was telling the story, right?
Yeah, but remember, she died at the end.
The way that it looked like was that they both died at the same time, but then they revived her. That's what it looked like at the end? Was that dude that came back for her, revived her, like brought her back to life?
But
so technically, she would have been dead, but he brought her back, and I think she kind of hated him for it, or at least that's what it seemed like.
But was it the fact that she goes by C. Berman now that she's not dealt with?
Yeah, but I feel like they come after her because that's why she does all that ritual stuff at night, though, right?
Yeah, but coming out, well,
she might be worried that they're coming after her the whole time, but like, I don't know for sure because it seems like they've only been doing it at certain times or something. Like that's the only thing that they haven't really explained is like if they come out and kill people all the time or if it's only at certain times, like every 10 years or something like that, they come out and kill people. Because I don't think they ever really explained that part of it.
I remember
in the beginning they were asking her like, "What? You're still alive? Why? Like, what is different?" And that's the only thing I can think was different.
But she never
died and came back up.
Sam though. But I think that's what they were alluding to, in that she didn't go by Ziggy anymore. Remember, Nick said,
"Yeah,
this is Cindy Berman." Cindy's was the sister.
Yeah, the one that died. Yeah,
and that's why she didn't like the sheriff. I felt was because he didn't trust in the whole ghost thing, and he didn't act like it was a real thing.
Yeah.
And by him not telling, but he never told anyone that's what happened. Remember, he said Tommy Slater went nuts.
Yeah.
So he acted like it never happened, and I think that's why she was upset with him. But I haven't gotten the gist of, because even Nick sent her that note saying it's happening again. Well, if it happens to her all the time, she would already know it's still happening, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that that is kind of like a plot hole or something that they didn't necessarily talk about or explain.
So I don't know if maybe that'll get talked about in the next one that we watch. So, but
so far these have been like I do like this one a bit. I don't know, they're all good though, but like both so far are good, but I don't know if I would say that this is better than the first one or not. No, mostly because they had better kills in the first one.
I think they're on even par in terms of. I'm intrigued with the third one though.
Yeah,
I really want to see, like, based on the trailer at the end of the movie, it seems like it's going down the path of they burned her at the stake, probably based on the year and what we know they did with witches back.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that where the grass was similar to like where she was buried, and so it's like consecrated or not. I don't think I'm saying that the right way. Like that's why if you touch that part of the thing, it's like tainted. So like it's like getting in her, like somebody's kind of stepping in her zone, and that's why she goes after some of these people, right? I'm like, that's what it seems like, at least, that they get. I'm like, because they initially went after Sam or whatever because she put her hand or like she was on that spot. I'm wondering if that's where the burn happened and all that stuff. So then know that it was like cursed no matter what. So if you get near there, it's like he comes out again because it's supposed to be left alone type of thing. Kind of like if like the Conjuring thing, like if you mess with Annabelle, like the little what's it called? The doll, you mess with the doll and it opens up shit. It's kind of like that.
Yeah, I was just meaning I'm intrigued to see, because based on what they showed, everybody from the movies, the first two, are in the third one. But but it looks like is some character. It'll just be interesting to know what, how they factor in. My thought is they're related, and this goes back to that's who she's targeting, is people that are related to people that burned her back then, which ties back to what I was saying about Freddy, because that's who Freddy was, people, relatives of people that had, well, I think initially it was. I think
in the first 2 or 3, I think it was like anybody that was related to the people that he got like burned him.
Yeah, I think after that it just became all types of people. But yeah, early on it was people that were related to who burned him after he molested their kids or whatever. But anyhow, let's see. I'm trying to think. Yeah, there's one more in the series. The 1666.
Yep. And I'm intrigued with that one because I think it's going to be, I'm wondering how they're going to tell it. It kind of reminds me of the Little Hope game that we're going to be playing eventually on stream. They kind of have the same kind of elements, it seems like.
Yeah, I think that's where, it would be interesting because, like I was telling you, we'll end up doing that quarry game, I think, at some point with.
Well, I think definitely was it R.L. Stein that made these books and stuff? I do think he used things that, like I think he's using the witch trial, kind of twisting that, and then he's using like the 70s with the Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th to kind of make the second movie. So the first, because it was like a 90s movie, but.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's what the name of the camp was, Camp Nightwing, which is so funny. It's just a weird name for a camp. But yeah, it was fun. Like I thought it was fun, and that's why it kind of reminds me of it too, in a way, is that a lot of it's like about the main chick being tormented by the other people there. And then eventually they're like, oh yeah, we're going to kick you out. And then the sister gets mad at her because they're going to kick her out because people are being dicks, like, oh, okay, we're going to do this. And then we're going to be dicks. And then they, on top of it, then they're like, oh yeah, this killer's going to come out and kill you all too. And I'm wondering about how because the Tommy Slater thing, how it's like, at one point it just like hits him and then he turns into a killer. How they're gonna explain how they start doing that, if they're just like that, like they just she picks people at random. They kind of talked about like they had names at one point when they were there, where they had people's names written down when they were in the cave or whatever. But like, I'm wondering if she had those names written out or not. Like, I know you were talking about that it's probably people that burned her at the stake and stuff, like relatives and shit. But like, I'm wondering if there's also like something like, if they're explaining like she knew exactly who she was going after the whole time or something. Really, at the end of the day.
Well, that's why I said it's going to be interesting. I actually want to. Once we get done with this podcast, I'm going to really want to watch the movie, because we actually just recently watched this one again, and it made me more intrigued to watch the next one.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking too, honestly.
Yeah, but I think I'm trying to think after that, do we want to go back to our top the scariest according to science, or did we want to talk about the latest Scream movie?
I wanted to talk about Scream at one point. I know that.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about it and we'll think about it. I know the next one's going to be Fear Street Part 3, though. Not sure what else to talk about in this one. Is there anything else you had to see? You didn't really talk much during this one, right?
I said a few things. I mean,
do you have any thoughts about how you think the 1666 one's gonna go?
Well, I'm just kind of like you. I'm kind of like I want to see it now because I kind of want to know how. Well, it's bad to say how it ends. More like how it began, or like just kind of to know the whole story of kind of what happened and why and who. And
yeah, exactly why they do the things that they do. Yeah.
Why it happened and maybe why the people, certain people were picked to, that kind of stuff. Like why was Tommy Slater picked? Who knows? Why the guy in the mall that killed the girl?
Well, that's what I was saying. It's
like why those people.
They allude to it, but we'll see if that's actually what the truth is. Like,
oh yeah, like once ago, one thing I should mention during this thing that made me laugh: the stoner chick in this movie made me laugh because it was just like, okay, so the whole time I think she hurts her ankle when they're in the cave or whatever, but then for whatever reason, the chick, even though she was being a dick to the sister the whole time, practically. Then whenever she gets hurt, she's like, please help me. And then she's like, okay, I'll help you the whole time. Like, I was just like, why in the hell would she even help this chick? I understand trying to be nice and stuff like that, but like helping the chick, she was just like a total dick to her the whole time. I was just like, that's the only thing that took me out of the movie, really, just because I was just like, okay, I kind of understand trying to protect people or whatever, but like she was just didn't really care about the person at all, except for when she hurt her leg and it was harder for her to move around. Then she was like, oh, please help me.
Well, how a lot of people are, though. They can be dicks, but then they decide that when they need help, it's like, oh, you need to help me too, even though I've been an ass to you. I mean, it's...
Yeah, but it sounded like they had been friends when they were younger.
Yeah.
But then probably as they got older, they kind of went different directions.
True, but I don't know. It just seemed kind of weird, like that whole time she was just being a bitch to her. It's kind of like how the Ziggy chick, where the funny thing was playing the prank on her when she put her in the bathroom by herself. I thought that was pretty funny, but it's like if that happened to her, whereas like if they were in the same situation, do you think she would have helped her? Probably not.
The mean girl? No.
Yeah, she probably wouldn't have helped the mean girl, even though then you're trying to be nice or whatever. Some people just like, care for other people, but she probably wouldn't have been nice to her if the shoe was on the other foot. Like that's the main thing. So,
yeah, I just have a feeling this is going another way. Because a lot of these horror movies, especially when it's related to ghosts that are pissed, they always tend to go the path they were fucked somehow. Like, and what I mean is Sarah was not a bad person, but
yeah,
kind of screwed, almost like The Ring. You remember the movie The Ring? That was kind of how it was that the girl that came back and was terrorizing everybody was basically killed.
Yep. And then it just went and snowballed from there. Yeah. I mean, they do that a lot of horror stories like that, where it shows like people wrong them in a certain way. I mean, a lot of comic book stories could be like that too. Yeah. Like where they tell it where somebody is not being protected or whatever, and somebody torments them so much that they just like say, screw it, I'm going to kill you all type of shit. And that's like a lot of horror movie villains, it seems like they do. Like some people are just like out and out, just evil people or like bad people anyway. But some people are like, they just show that eventually you'll turn bad at one point. And especially when it comes to witches and stuff, I've noticed that a lot. Like a lot of it's like whenever there's witches or like anybody that's like a ghost that hangs around, especially in like Japanese horror, they do a lot of that where it's like somebody being mistreated. I think it's like one is the Grudge, or at least the older Grudge.
Well, that's what I
Like,
was talking about. The Grudge or the Ring, all of those are kind of like that.
yeah, like they tell it like, oh, they were nice people, and then oh shit, and then they turned into cursed people that just constantly kill people.
Paranormal Activity was that way, I think, if I remember right.
Which I still haven't watched Paranormal Activity, and we'll probably talk about it at the on the podcast at one point or another.
Yep, when we get back to the top 35 scariest movies according to science or whatever.
Yeah,
I got to look back where we're at on that after we get through these, but
I think it's like Friday the 13th or something. I know it's like one of those, or no, not Friday the 13th. I think it might be not a Nightmare, or
so that
it's
or
like
I think it might be Poltergeist actually.
Yeah, it's probably Poltergeist, and then it's Nightmare.
Yeah,
more than likely, yeah. So I mean, yeah, like I definitely might watch that tonight anyway, just that way I could finish off the story.
Yeah, Poltergeist has a lot of set stories behind it, like stuff that happened while they were filming.
People died.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like especially that it was like a bunch of stuff supposedly. I mean, it's happened on few other movies too. Like what's it called? They were talking about Lord of the Rings. One of the things, like him kicking a helmet and he broke his like couple of his toes or something when he kicked the helmet. And they're like, I'm surprised that he was able to pull off that stuff with a couple of broken toes. But yeah.
I remember reading that. But yeah. Anyhow, do we want to do the Creepo-Meter?
The Creepo-Meter?
Yeah.
It's not really creepy, so I don't know what I don't even remember what we rated the last one.
Yeah, I didn't feel this movie was very creepy. I mean,
it was creepy. Yeah. I mean, if you, like Josh mentioned, the Friday the 13th. If you've ever seen Friday the 13th, you kind of figured what was going to happen.
Well, yeah, especially with this one, a lot of the kills are about the same.
I mean,
it wasn't like anything where it was like, oh yeah, this stands out for one of the kills. I like some of the scenes in the movie more than anything, but like nothing to be like, oh shit, yeah, this is awesome.
Well, yeah, the graphic nature of the killings too continued in this one. Like when he smashed that dude's head in at the beginning when he his first kill, it was like okay,
like, oh okay, yikes.
And then
that's what I'm saying. They did a lot of the stuff where it's like old vintage horror and stuff. Yeah. So nothing really stood out like that was different. So like I'm wondering about the next movie, see if they do something different or not.
Yeah.
And the guy that wrote it, like, you can tell what he watched because it's like, 1978 was like the typical slasher kind of Friday the 13th type movies. Kids are at camp, blah, blah, blah. And then you had 1994, which was kind of more like Scream, like a Scream with the stabbing and everything,
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
And then the new...
And that's the main thing about this series, too. Oh, excuse me. Is like I'm wondering how much was based around some of the books, if they were hugely based on some of the books, or if it was just like their own story that R.L. Stine helped with or not. I'm curious on like how they got the stuff for the Fear Street thing or not. If it was based on just a few books out of the series or something.
Well, I mean, it's based on his books.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering if it was based off of like certain ones, or if they like, oh well, we can incorporate that and make a broader story out of like 3 movies just off of like a part of a book, right? Like it's just like, oh, I'm gonna just branch off and make something else out of it.
Yeah, I mean, from the standpoint of he wasn't like part of the movie though, like he wasn't like an exec. You know how
like how most of them are executive producers and stuff.
J.K. Rowling for
Harry Potter and stuff, yeah.
What was his name? George R.R. Martin for Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Or Elden Ring, even the game. But
yep. had to bust in an Elden Ring reference. So that
really think about the names of and I know I'm digressing a little bit, but on Elden Ring, the villains are all his initials.
Oh, George R. Martin's initials?
Yeah, like if you think about it, Morgott and Radagon and Godric, they're all G's, M's, and R's.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
So, anyways, I didn't mean to digress from our horror podcast, but we were talking about George R. R. Martin, so that's it. But anyways, yeah, well, that was slightly off track, but I don't think we have anything else. But like, when do we plan on doing the next one? In a couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks. We need to
Probably a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Get back on a more regular schedule. On
Yeah.
Stuff.
We may watch the movie sooner than that, though.
I know, because I'm actually kind of curious to know.
Mm-hmm.
But
I definitely want to find out about the end and everything. So that's why I thank God we got this done. Yeah, baby.
Yeah. So the next podcast for everybody that's listening, which our listenership has increased slightly.
Oh, good.
That's we
like
got
to hear that, guys. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, but compared to what it was, but yeah, for anybody that's listening, our next podcast after this one will be in a couple of weeks. It'll be on Fear Street Part 3, 1666. But for all of us at the Heart of Geek, I hope you enjoyed listening to this episode of Scream Creeps. And we might be streaming here shortly for anybody that watches or goes on Twitch. Well, me and Josh will probably do a playthrough of Little Hope.
Yeah, because we did A Man of Medan first. We streamed that one.
Yeah.
So we were planning on doing all three in the series. If anybody is curious, it's the Dark Pictures anthology, I think is called the series.
Yeah.
But then there's Little Hope, and then the last one is House of Ashes, I think. So we're planning on streaming all of those. At one point, we got Man of Medan on there, so like anybody on our YouTube channel or whatever, you could find that on there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So anyway, for all of us at the Heart of Geek, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a good night, and we'll see you later.
Peace.